Hello, Pisces. Welcome back to Midnight Morning Readings. Thank you for viewing me today. We are here to do a general reading. This is good for all placements for the next 4 weeks to 30 days from the time that you're viewing this. We're going to start off by getting a couple of message cards for relationship and then career, money, finance, as those may resonate with you throughout this reading. Okay, so we're going to get a relationship card. Now this card can be a romantic relationship, can be a familial relationship, can be a coworker, um, or some other type of relationship that you may have with somebody. Thank you. And so they gave you loaded down. And this is very interesting because because this is talking about carrying responsibility in the relationship. So you take a lot of ownership in everything that you do. So it's carry responsibilities wisely. Wealth comes with demands, lighten the load if possible. And this really talks, Pisces, about the ownership and the responsibility that you take in a relationship. You don't take them lightly. You usually, when you go, you're all in. Um, and at the same time, you may expect very similar um, uh, energies, to be reciprocated, that's in there. But you're always the rock, the person that is coming in, that is holding things together. You're the person that people know that they can count on um, in a relationship. So you might be experiencing a relationship right now, or in a group to where a lot of responsibilities for something is falling on you, and you may need to either share the responsibility or talk with the other individual in the relationship about the heaviness that you are carrying, and either ask to lighten the load or find a different way of trying to spread the responsibility around. Okay, so we're going to get, oh, thank you. And this is very interesting. So you got the frame, and this is interesting because another sign that I've done also received the frame. And, it's talking about structure. It's talking about foundational work that you are working on building, something together, and it's organizing, it's steady income, it's that structure, it's that responsibility. So, so as we continue to go through the reading, we're going to continue to see what other messages may come through as they may relate to those cards. All right, so we're going to see what your overarching energies are for the next 4 weeks to 30 days, for the next month or so. On the bottom of the deck, you have door to personal healing and happiness. It's the seventh chakra, so you're receiving a lot of messages. And spirit is coming through, and you've got the thinking woman and you've got the world. So you're receiving a lot of downloads is what's coming in. And I know, we're just coming into Aquarius season, and you're the sign that's going to be coming up next. So, Pisces, with your birth season right around the corner that's coming in, there's a lot of new beginnings that are going to be taking place. So you may start seeing a lot of transitional segments that might start happening in a relationship or work or somewhere around in your social circle. Okay, so let's see what else. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Anything else for Pisces? Thank you. On the bottom of the deck, you have a broken heart, financial constraints, and healer of the ages. And what this message is, and a lot of time, and I go by what I feel and how these messages are coming through for me. And this is telling me that it's going to be okay. All right. And you're sitting here and you're probably looking, you're saying, look, like I've got the broken heart, I've got financial constraints, but you've received the healer of the ages. And this is a very, very powerful, very calming energy that is coming across. And I really feel, yes, this is where you're at, but this card, but the healer is coming in and saying, it's okay. All right, it's already happened. You're going through the motions right now, but it's going to be okay. There's something big that's turning the corner for you, right? That's coming up. And these messages are coming through for a reason, okay? Because when you look at the financial constraints, we tend to want to notice the things that we don't have and focus on what we want or we need, as opposed to looking at what may be coming. And it's our thoughts and our energies that we are projecting with with the situations that we're in, and as our circumstances change. And spirit is saying, look, you already know what's behind the one cabinet door, but maybe you need to be focusing on what's behind the other one. A lot of things we haven't seen yet. A lot of things haven't happened yet. And there is a lot of abundance, because the original card on the bottom of the deck was the door to healing and happiness. And this is where Spirit is coming in and saying, yes, you're hitting financial stripes. You're hitting that, it's talking about, setting the foundation. You're holding a lot of responsibility on right now, and you're feeling very, very heavy. And Spirit is coming in and saying, it's okay. Like, we hear what you're saying. We're sending you messages as they're coming through. So don't get so overwhelmed with things, because here you've got the Magician in the mirror. This is another card of very similar to Healer of the Ages. This is a very similar energy that is coming in, that is saying, look, okay, pay attention to maybe not necessarily what you don't, focusing on the void. Let's focus on the other stuff that's coming in for you, because it's going to be very, very strong, and it's going to be stabilizing for you. And I really feel that foundational work, things are going to level out here. You've been up and down, you've been on this rocky road that has been going on here for a while, and I'm telling you, things are going to start leveling out, and you're going to start seeing some steady paces that are coming in, because you got the sixth chakra, you got hostilities, and you've got the woman holding the coin. And remember, I told you, earlier, that, it's all about the energies that we're projecting and the things that we are focusing on. So instead of focusing on what is missing or what we don't have or what we really, really want, let's focus on the positives, what we do have, how we are managing things. We're not ready to start watering the ketchup down yet. Okay. Things might be getting tight. You may be tightening the belt a little bit. You may be tightening the purse strings a little bit, but you are getting through this portion of your life. And what Spirit is coming through and saying is, this is temporary. You can, yes, it's frustrating. Yes, it's going to you're going to get frustrated, and you can get short with people, but it's saying that this is temporary. It's only going to last for just a short period, but you need to keep working on and projecting the positive outcome that you have. And I know right now, Pisces, you're not the only ones that are in this really, really tough boat right now. And it feels very overwhelming, and that you're carrying everything right now. But, Spirit is coming through and saying things are going to be okay. And I really feel when right around your birth season is when you're going to see that turning point that'll be coming in. Okay. So, as you're going through, I know I'm feeling like a lot of challenges and obstacles you might be facing. So let's focus on fill up your cup. These are challenges and obstacles that we have, and a lot of times when it seems like we get knocked down and we keep getting pushed down over and over and over, it's hard to look and say my glass is still half full. And that's what Spirit is saying. You're concentrate on what you still have. Concentrate on the positives. Concentrate on the emotions that are keeping you moving forward. Feel into your emotions. Remember, we talked about, a relationship card. You're holding all of this responsibility. What I'm feeling, Pisces, is you're bottled up, okay? You're a water sign, right? And water signs are very, very emotional, but water signs can hold it very, very close to the chest to where sometimes we don't want to show it. You don't want to show it to anybody else, and those water signs can feel things very, very heavily. And a lot of times it's hard for you to express those emotions, and it's easier just to keep them bottled up and go cry in the closet with the door shut so nobody sees you, as opposed to actually sitting down and talking with somebody and just saying, look, it's very overwhelming. All this pressure is on me. I feel like I'm the only one that's carrying this weight. I need somebody to help for for whatever reason. Maybe it's, can you pick up the kids 3 times a week, instead of me doing it 5 times a week, because that will help alleviate some of the stress, of me trying to manage my schedule. It's those kinds of things. It's okay to ask for help, and this might be some of the obstacles and challenges that you might be facing right now. Yeah, let go of control, right? This is what we're talking about. Heavy level of control, and trust yourself, right? These are hard things to do when you're a water sign, and especially when you take a lot of ownership and responsibility for the things that are going on in your life, and you tend to want to take on responsibility for problems that maybe are not your own, but they are affecting people that you care deeply about. All right, let's see. Challenges and obstacles for Pisces. Challenges and obstacles for Pisces. What else is going on? Challenges and obstacles. Thank you. Thank you. On the bottom of the deck, slow down. It's right here, okay? Quit trying to do everything yourself. This is very difficult for you to do, Pisces. It is very difficult. You're going to end up exploding is what's going to happen. You've got to slow down. Mind, your body, your soul. You're not taking care of yourselves, Pisces. You've got so many other things. And become your own priority. All right. I cannot make this stuff up. All right. This is a very, very powerful, very strong message that is coming through for you, Pisces. Yeah, like I said, you're a water sign. You swim in emotions all the time, and you are to the point right now that you have got such a heavy load of responsibility and ownership that you have taken on. You have decided that you are going to sacrifice your health, your self-care, your well-being, your good night's sleep, because you are going to try and you are continuing to do for others. And what is coming down to it is you've got to make yourself a priority, because if you don't, you're going to explode. You're going to make yourself sick, and the people that are counting on, and then you're not going to be able to continue to help the people that are really depending upon you. So the other ones that they gave you: release old patterns and tap into your sacral power. Okay, your sacral is your second chakra, is what they're talking about. All right, and this is where you get into that real internal, that passion, that sexuality that you may have, just a lot of those internal emotions that are really, really driving, and I feel like you're suppressing them. That's why you're shutting off your second chakra, because you're like, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for this. I have too many other things. And releasing old patterns. You're staying in a pattern of what is comfortable and what you know is safe. And right now it's holding you back, and you're drowning in it. And this is where Spirit is coming in and saying it is time to ask for help. You need help. You need somebody to help share the responsibility, so you are not drowning in your own sea of emotions, because you are taking on the responsibility solely yourself. You have people that love you, that care about you, and you need to help to be able to take care of yourself. Okay, so we're going to get a peek into the most recent past messages as what has led you up to this point before we look into current messages from Spirit. So on the bottom is Treasure Island, not for you, and chaos and conflict. Never ending story. It's the same old thing. It's round and round. It is the same old never ending story. Okay, you are caught in a vicious cycle, and this is where they came in and said your biggest obstacle is releasing old patterns. If you continue to do the same things that you have always done, nothing is going to change. You are going to continue to get the same level of stress, and it's not going to get any better. And you're only hurting yourself because you can't help the people, that you truly love if you end up wearing yourself down. Okay? I'm not judging. I'm not here to preach. I'm telling you, this is message from Spirit. They are telling you you've got to slow down. You've got to do the self-care. You have got to pay attention to what you are doing to yourself physically. And if you've got to take a power nap, you got to take a power nap. Okay? All right. Bottom of the deck, Unfinished Symphony. Treasure Island is again showing up for you, and the Thinker. Okay? And we had the Thinking Woman that showed up originally on the bottom of the deck for your energies. And this is where you are doing a lot of thinking, a lot of contemplation about what is going on, about how you can get this moving forward. And when you take on a lot of ownership, a lot of responsibility that's going on, you end up leaving a lot of things undone because you end up trying to micromanage too many things, and you end up don't actually completing anything, and that bothers you because you can't get it done. So you're contemplating, like, what do I need to do? How do I need to get this finished? So they gave you new life, happy, and building blocks. We talked about this with the frame that came out originally, with the money, career, finance. You're building a new foundation is what you're trying to work on because it crumbled, right? Something cracked your foundation in the past, and it has rocked your steady, same old routine. And it has completely shifted everything that is going on, and it sends you into this type of chaos that you are not accustomed to dealing with. And so you're trying to swim, you're trying to figure out what is going on. And in the meantime, you're not realizing that the pieces cannot go back together the same way they broke apart. You have to build a new foundation from what is there, and in order to move forward. Okay? That is what I feel has happened in the most recent past. We're going to get a couple of clarifiers on those messages because Spirit has got a message. I guarantee, I know it, I feel it. There's a very strong message that is coming through in your incoming messages that is going to help you move forward. Okay? You're not alone in this boat, Pisces. You're not alone. Thank you. Thank you. Thought I had a flipper. Anything else? Thank you. There was a lot that went on. They gave a lot of clarifiers. So let's go ahead and let's dive in and let's see. All right, first card to the left, Eight of Wands. Okay, when the foundation started to crumble, because it crumbled, it went quickly. It went quickly. It was just like boom, boom, boom. It was like one thing after another, and you could not. It went so fast you couldn't recoup from one thing, went from one thing to the next. And then you've got the Eight of Cups, and you've got the Nine of Pentacles that are coming in here, and all right. So I mean, this Eight of Cups, releasing old patterns. Okay. Building blocks, new life and stuff. This is all talking about same old routine. You're stuck in the same old patterns, the same old routine. This is where this is why the foundation started to crack and started to crumble, because you needed something to shift, and you weren't paying attention, or you weren't understanding messages, and this was meant to get you to figure out how to build that new foundation going forward. That Eight of Cups is very, very much, coming in, and it's just like everybody just knocked everything over. They're not all knocked over, but it's enough that it has set you to where it's like, okay, what you are doing isn't working anymore, and it's time for your wake up call. Okay. And so you've got the Nine of Pentacles that is coming in, and the Eight of Wands. And so when this came in and it hit hard and it hit fast. But you needed, it's almost like you needed something to wake you up. Okay, from where you were at. You got the Queen of Pentacles and the Five of Wands that are coming in sideways. Okay. And the Queen of Pentacles, she's a very, very um steadfast. She's a very, very steadfast queen. So she's very much a type of queen. When she comes in, it's like, I'm good with where I'm at. I'm happy. I'm very content at the level that I'm at. I have a very solid foundation underneath me. I'm happy and I'm content where we're at. And so, she's coming in and she's just saying, it was time to change something because it wasn't going to hold any longer, right? Okay. And and this is going in, the Eight of Wands, and the Five of Wands coming in sideways. This is talking about that foundation cracking. All right. It's like, something is coming in and it's cracking that foundation, it's breaking it apart, because the last card that they gave you is the Nine of Wands. All right. So you've got a lot of passion, a lot of energy that is coming in for you, in the most recent past, that's bringing you into your current messages. Because when you have that energy, you have a lot of wand energy that is coming in, it happened in the most recent past. Okay. And the wands are all about movement. It's all about things changing, moving, spiritual types of energies and emotions. It's all coming in, and it's just like it's changing everything that is going on for you. And that is what is bringing you into your current messages from spirit. Okay. All right, so let's see what your current messages are. Fulfillment of wishes. This is Nine of Cups. This is Nine of Cups energy, Pisces. Okay, this is very, very important for you to understand that what you have gone through to where you are today is very, very different. And you're actually getting to where you have wanted to be for quite some time. You just didn't think or feel that you were going to have to go through what you did in order to get there. But it's making you stronger for it. So you are getting what you have been projecting, what you have been focusing on. Patience and prosperity, conflict and defeat. Okay. So, I mean, you're definitely getting a lot of energies that are coming in here. And this is really focusing in on a lot of the um, uh, foundation that you have been having to reset into something new. Okay. All right. So we are going to go ahead and we are going to get some messages from Spirit. Yep. See, there's the Magician popping out. This is all about manifesting and changing what was into something new. Okay, Magician is a very powerful card that's there. So, all right, let's see. All right, current messages for Pisces, please. Thank you. Current for Pisces. Thank you. Current for Pisces. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, on the bottom of the deck, you've got foundation and achievements. You've got your third eye. Third eye has come up. This is your sixth chakra. Okay, you've got your sixth chakra and your overarching energies that are coming in, and it's also coming in for your okay, conflict and defeat. I mean, we can keep going, I'm like conflict and defeat, base chakra, Ace of Swords, that is coming in. I mean, it's happening. It's all starting to come together right now, Pisces. I know it doesn't feel that way. It doesn't seem that way, but you have to really start refocusing on the different, the way things are today, because you can't go back to the way things were. That is done. That is over with. You cannot put the pieces back together again. You have to take the pieces and build something new. That is where you're at. That is what Spirit is trying to tell you. The way you have always done things is gone. Okay? You have to do something different. And you're almost being very self-defeating, because you've got foundations and achievements that is coming in here, and this is very, very strong. Okay, this is more wand energy. This is all about movement. This is all about solidifying everything that you've been working for, because here you got High Priestess energy and you've got the Ace of Pentacles, right? Okay, so this is all about something new. It's bringing you into a new life, a new way of thinking, a new way of projecting. You've got your intuition. The High Priestess, she's a very, very beautiful card, and it's all about your seventh chakra, your sixth chakra, about getting those messages from Spirit that are coming in for you, that are telling you this is a new path, and it's beautiful, and it's very strong, because you've also got sacrifice, and then you have got you have the Six of Cups, and what you're doing is, the Six of Cups, you're upset because things have changed. And it's like, why couldn't things have stayed the same? Why did it's the why am I constantly feel like I'm having to chase something, and you're not. Okay, chapters close, new ones open. Doors close, new ones open. They do that for a reason. Okay, and it almost feels like you're mourning the past of what has been, but you really need to start. What Spirit is saying is you need to focus on the new foundation that is coming in, because you're going to realize the old foundation was what was holding you back. It had been crumbling for quite some time, and that's where they're coming in with this sacrificing, focusing and looking at things differently, because this is Hanged Man energy, and it's all about looking at things from a different perspective. And sometimes we have to let things go that we don't want to let go in order to see something differently. Okay. And that's where Spirit is coming in, saying, Pisces, you've got to stop focusing on what was, and you need to start focusing on what is as you're moving forward. That is what I really feel is the big message from Spirit today. All right, let's get some clarifiers from Spirit for your current messages. Current clarifiers. Thank you. Thank you. So the Ten of Swords, when it comes out, talks about a closure. It's the ending of something. It's the finalization of the battle, the strife, the struggle that you have been going through. It's the closure. It's the end of everything. It's kind of the pinnacle. So it's like you've hit the top, and it's just the climb is over. Now you're going to start seeing things come together, lessen a little bit more and a little bit more. There's the Nine of Pentacles and the the Nine of Swords. Okay, so the 9 and 10 of Swords. Okay, it's you're still going back to what has happened in the past, Pisces. Spirit is coming in and saying you've got to let it go. You've got to come to terms with what is done in the past, and you cannot change it. You cannot hold on to it. You need to let it go, because it is not going to continue to help you as you are moving forward, and you're coming to that closure that's coming in. Because the Knight of Wands, remember I told you wands are about movement, it's about energy, it's about passions that are coming in, and knights are, they're the ones coming in and charging forward. And so now you're going to find this yeah, and so you got the Ace of Wands with the Knight of Wands that is coming in. This is about movement. This is about new beginnings. It's about picking yourself up by the bootstraps and saying, all right, I'm done. Let's do this. And you're ready to charge forward. And that's where you're at. You're ready. Like, you're ready. You're coming. You're in that pinnacle right now of accepting what is, and ready to take on what's coming in the future. And you're ready to take on the positives. So you're kind of going through this closure and ready to move through the open door. All right. So let's take a peek at what your incoming messages are for the next 4 weeks to a month going forward. And that's what this whole reading has been about, is Spirit has been coming in and saying it is time to move forward. You've got to stop focusing on what has been in the past. That foundation will not go back, and it will not hold any longer. You have to build something new. Okay? Inner peace, happiness, action. Pisces, this is very much to where you're coming to terms with something. You're coming to terms with what is now versus what has been, and how you want to move forward. And that has been the big struggle, because like I said, being a water sign, you're very emotional, you swim in emotions, and it is hard sometimes to see and get yourself back up to the surface when you become very overwhelmed. Okay? And you're coming through this because you're accepting it. You're accepting that this is what it is as you're moving forward. All right. Incoming messages for Pisces, please, Spirit. Incoming messages. Incoming for Pisces, please. On the bottom of the deck, openness. Okay? Leadership, enlightenment. This is very, very confirming, and this openness is a full moon. And I really feel by the time we get to this next full moon that is going to be coming in, around that you're going to be coming into, you're really going to start feeling that shift. You're going to really, really start feeling that acceptance coming over, almost like a wave of peace and calmness that you're going to be feeling that's in there. And you're going to start really taking the bull by the horns with that, because it's almost like you're having this, you're letting go and you're accepting, and it's just like it's just going, and it's gone. Flow, and you're not fighting, you're not trying to swim upstream. You're going with the flow now. You're not fighting your path any longer. You're actually moving with it, and you're seeing that the more you start moving with it and stop fighting it, the easier it is becoming, and how much more potential you have to make things move forward. Okay, so let's get some clarifiers for these incoming messages from Spirit. Thank you. Thank you. Anything else to clarify? Incoming for Pisces. Thank you. Thank you. Something else? All right. Okay. Card in my lap. Ace of Pentacles. All right. The foundation. It's new start. It's new structure. It's new abundance. It's all coming together. because you're no longer fighting the change and fighting what is going on. You're accepting it and you're figuring out how to flow with it. And that is allowing the positivity and the goodness and the good things to start coming into your life. And that is really going to help open a lot of things up for you. Okay. And here you've got the Strength card that is coming in, and you have the Knight of Pentacles coming in sideways. And remember, I told you knights are all about action. It's all about moving forward. Okay. And so, you know, the Knight of Pentacles is all about making sure that we're holding on to that structure, that we're, you know, now we know, you know, things are moving. It's getting very, very strong. Okay, you're getting this, and it's holding on, and it's just, it's your patience is paying off, is basically what I'm feeling. All right, it's everything is starting to pay off, and you're starting to see things come to you easier with that, because you, the last card they gave you is the Four of Cups sideways, you know. And when you have the Four of Cups, it's all about looking at the negative. It's all about, you know, my glass is half empty energy. Okay. And it's like, I've had this negative attitude, and I'm just like, you know, why can't I have this, you know, instead of this? And it's just having that. And this is your mindset changing when it's coming in sideways. That this is, you know, this is the energy that is coming in. And, you know, you're no longer focusing and saying, well, you know what? It isn't half empty, it's half full. Okay, and I'm glad I have a half full instead of a completely empty cup. And so you're working with what you have instead of focusing on what's not there. And it's that mind shift that you are going through as you're going in, and it's allowing that flow to really, really open up. And you're going to start seeing your chakras start to go like pow, 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 pow. And you're going to start getting those downloads, and those messages from spirit are going to start coming in a lot easier because you're not as blocked anymore. And that's what I really feel is starting to happen for you. And it's going to happen in the next, you know, by the time the next full moon comes around. From whenever you're watching this video, that's when I feel that things are going to start really opening up for you. Okay. Wow, Pisces, that was a very intense reading from Spirit. I really hope that you are able to receive messages out of it as it's relating to the situation that you are in right now. So we are going to get a couple of final message cards from Spirit for you. Thank you. As we wrap up your reading. What do you want to say to Pisces? Thank you. Two of them came out. All right. We're going to call it there. I think they gave you 4 cards. They're Pisces. So the first card out they gave you is the King of Raphael. And it says, yes, it is safe to trust. And this was one of the cards that was in your blockage area, that you are having problems trusting what is going on. It was one of the cards that was on the bottom of the deck. You know, you've got to be able to trust other people to help you. Okay, the ability to accomplish many things at once. Follow your creative passions. You have to be able to trust people to help you. They also gave you the 6 of Raphael. And it says, embrace your inner child. New friends or relationships are rekindled relationships, children or childhood that is coming in. And this is really coming in and just saying, you know, you got to spend some time for you. Right? You got to spend some time for you, because they gave you the Star. And this is such, oh my goodness, you got the Star and the Moon. These are the 2 of the most beautiful major arcana cards that are in here. And the fact that you got them both, this is a very, very powerful message. Okay. So they gave you the Star, and it's a dream come true. Believe in yourself. The end of a difficult situation. This is confirmation that this message was meant for you, Pisces, that all of this message is meant for you in the situation that you're in. Open the flow, let go of the blockage, and things are going to open up. The last card they gave you is the moon, the opportunity to improve your plans. Listen to your intuition for accurate guidance. Face your fears and grow stronger. You got the strength card that came out in your incoming messages that is there. This is very, very much you're going to move into an energy of trusting other people to help you and be able to help build that new foundation as you're moving forward, and be able to trust other people to help you and release that negative blockage to allow things to come into you. Very, very strong, very, very powerful message for you, Pisces. I hope it helped. Please feel free to leave comments if any of those, the messages in this reading resonate with you. And I'd be grateful if you'd hit that like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you back here next time, Pisces. Take care.